How do we make our streets safer? Ask 10 different people, and you'll likely get 10 different answers.
We'd rather shoot a camera than a gun any day. That's the slogan with shoot cameras, not guns.
If you don't know how to use a gun, don't have it.
And for better or worse, that is the goal of the Save Our Streets initiative, to hold elected officials accountable.
Why has the legislature failed to act, in your view, if it is as simple and logical as you claim here?
Shoot cameras, not guns, is an alternative.
To try to empower communities to use our voices to initiate change.
You try to look for those opportunities to kind of give back and change those things that are not what we would consider ideal.
And to continue to show that there are people in every neighborhood in our region who are doing their part to make a difference.
It's a warm feeling when you see somebody, get the tools that we gave them and just move on and blossom.
So join us for the next 30 minutes as we look at solutions and success and how we can continue to do what's necessary to save our streets. It's important to understand the causes of gun violence, the challenges families face, and the solutions that people are coming together to discover. I'm Bill Anderson, and we begin with our Jeff Cole, who continues to look into federal agencies and their role in getting illegal guns off of our streets.
15-year-old Simone Rogers lost her life in a spray of gunfire in a city park last summer. Her grieving mother fears gun violence will strike again.
My children are good kids, like everyone are good kids. We shouldn't have to live like this. It's fearful.
Our primary mission is to reduce firearm violence in the city of Philadelphia.
Along with police, it's the role of the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, ATF, to combat gun violence. But the leader of a national gun safety group says ATF is not up to the job.
Is ATF properly funded and staffed to do its job in these times?
ATF has been starved for federal funding for many, many years.
Robin Lloyd of Giffords, founded by former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, seriously injured in a shooting, says ATF does not have the resources to aggressively disrupt the flow of illegal firearms and hold gun traffickers responsible.
More needs to happen on the front end so we prevent these firearms from even getting into the hands of people that shouldn't have them.
It varies.
Matthew Varisco leads the Philadelphia office of the ATF. He argues his agency works closely with police to pull crime guns off the street, but admits ATF falls short on yearly inspections of Pennsylvania's 3,100 federal firearms dealers.
Do you do that? Can you do that?
We can't do that based on the amount of manpower that we have.
Instead, Varisco says his agents look closely at dealers who've sold firearms later used in crimes. Lloyd says that's too late.
If we're always looking behind us and solving things after the fact, we're never going to get out in front of the gun violence epidemic that we're currently facing, particularly as it relates to illegal firearms.
What we do know is the majority of firearms are purchased outside of the city and brought into the city of Philadelphia.
Often through straw purchases, when a legal buyer purchases weapons from someone barred by law, like a felon, says Varisco. Philadelphia's ATF budget for investigations has remained flat for the last 3 fiscal years.
It's been $1.2 million the last 3 years.
Correct.
While gun violence has climbed, Lloyd of Giffords argues that's a big problem.
We're provided that money from Washington, D.C., from headquarters, and we do the best we can with what we're provided.
Lendale Rogers, Simone's mom, listened recently to politicians press for a $1 billion program to fight violent crime. She's not holding her breath.
Were you convinced by anything you heard here?
No, but
You were not?
I'm hopeful. I'm putting my faith in God. That's that.
Critics say the ATF has been extremely limited, if not outright muzzled, on what it can say about its work and the flow of guns in America. They want the Biden administration to drastically change all of that. In Philadelphia, I'm Jeff Cole.
The ATF is trying to crack down on all guns. But next, Jeff investigates a phenomenon called ghost guns and the problems they're causing in our communities. As community leaders and legislators continue to look for solutions to gun violence, some of the ways guns are flowing onto our streets are happening right in front of our faces with little legal resistance.
The spike in gun violence during the pandemic has unnerved residents, community leaders, and politicians alike. Now, adding to that concern, guns described as ghosts. What's a ghost gun?
Ghost guns are essentially a firearm that comes in two separate parts with a couple of screws. You drill the gun together and you've got a working firearm within just a few minutes.
And they are a growing threat, argues Attorney General Josh Shapiro, who says ghost guns are untraceable and sold online in easy-to-assemble kits that do not require criminal background checks to buy.
So if I'm a felon and I can't purchase a gun legally and I can't possess a gun legally, this is my answer in your view?
Absolutely, and that's the crux of this issue.
They're called ghost guns because unlike firearms made by licensed manufacturers, they do not have serial numbers etched on them, giving the make, model, and history of a gun. Instead, critics argue ghost guns flow in the underground stream of crime guns and vanish when subjected to the tracking and tracing investigators use to combat gun crime.
Typically what's happening are people are buying them at gun shows, by the duffel bag full, taking them back to a facility, putting them together, and then selling them on the streets.
The numbers do show a startling rise in ghost guns, or what are also called privately made firearms. Philadelphia police report recovering 95 ghost guns in 2019, with the number jumping to 250 the next year, and skyrocketing in 2021 to 571 ghost guns taken off the streets. But what to do about them? Shapiro wrote new rules that made the buyer of a ghost gun kit subject to a background check like other firearms, something he says everyone can agree on. But apparently they can't.
It does appear that it's not something everybody can agree on. The fact is, you have tried to redefine what these things are and regulate them in some way, and you've been stopped.
It's clear that the vast majority of people agree that we should keep guns out of the hands of criminals. I was sued by the gun lobby, and we're still in the midst of that litigation.
And Shapiro says a bill in Harrisburg would do the same thing and would be signed by the governor, but hasn't been approved.
Why has the legislature failed to act, in your view, if it is as simple and logical as you claim here?
I think the legislature routinely fails to act when it comes to public safety.
Ghost guns are far from the only weapons fueling the unrelenting violence that claimed 561 lives in Philadelphia last year. Stolen weapons and firearms bought by so-called straw purchasers are a major source of the bloodshed. Shapiro, also a Democratic candidate for governor, says he would not move to impose a one-gun-a-month limit on firearms purchases in Pennsylvania, but does see areas for gun reform along with restricting ghost guns.
Should you be required in the state of Pennsylvania to report a gun that you've lost?
I think that's a reasonable approach. What I really think we need to focus on, though, is closing the loophole that allows criminals to get their hands on guns in the first place.
Do you think this is life and death? I mean, do these guns take lives? Is that what's going on out here?
Without question, Jeff, these guns are claiming lives.
Shapiro argues efforts in Washington, D.C. to limit ghost guns are underway, but are likely to be challenged in court and delayed. It's why he argues Pennsylvania legislators should act now.
Now, in response to Attorney General Shapiro, state Senate Republicans accuse him of taking a, and I quote, criminals first, victims last approach, and plan to hold hearings across the Commonwealth on the criminal activity they say is plaguing Pennsylvania cities. But sometimes it does feel like there are far more gun violence issues than there are potential solutions. But that may not be totally true. Hundreds are working every day to make things better with little fanfare, including a local group that says shoot cameras, not guns.
2 shots are fired.
Turn on the TV any night, any station.
It's gotta stop.
And unfortunately, you will see the violence that we're facing in our communities.
3 shots were fired. You never know who's next.
But some people want you to see less of that and more of this.
It's it's an alternative to inspiring somebody to do better instead of doing worse, right? It's a thing that could potentially save your life.
This night began as things were wrapping up at the Willow Grove Mall, but as the shoppers were leaving,
thanks for coming,
the Philly photo spot stayed open for a group of people trying to make a difference.
Shoot cameras, not guns, is an alternative, right? It's an alternative to making moms smile rather than making them cry.
The name is pretty self-explanatory. Shoot cameras, not guns.
You have to be invested in wanting to see your community be better.
But it's not just a catchy name. To Vernon, Ray, and others, it's a mission.
Recently, I've lost a few family members, and I felt like something needed to be done. And this right here, creating Shoot Cameras, Not Guns, was my thing to do. That's the point of Reels. The world is changing. How we create content is changing.
Vernon, T. Anthony, aka Big Smiles, and others realized that their skills as videographers, producers, and more could be the thing that sparks young people to follow their path rather than one that leads to the negative results that we see daily.
I'm here for the people that want it. A lot of them need it, but the ones that want it, they come, they show up, they move their feet. You understand? And we want to be able to provide them with opportunities so they can get what they need so they can change their lives.
Let's direct these kids in a different way.
And if they want to change their lives, Shoot Cameras, Not Guns offers free training and mentoring.
You bring people close by the things that you know that they're interested in.
They get behind the scenes on movies and TV sets, concerts, and they learn how to take their interest in social media, music, art, whatever, and make it into a career so they actually have options and not just people saying be better.
If you tap out and reach out to the youth, then we can all help each other. When he was giving out those free workshops, I was on it. When I seen free 99, I was right there on it. I was like texting my cousins, texting all my friends.
They can take charge of their life and the opportunities that he's creating and the message he's spreading, it opens the doors for everyone.
You know, it's not a lot of positive things going on right now, and this, I feel as though, can actually help and strengthen our community and bring our city back together.
Most of the people at the seminar were already artists, performers, photographers on the path to success.
How you communicate with people is a gift.
But they also all pointed out that their experience with Shoot Cameras, Not Guns encouraged them to invite friends and family who could use a change in the direction their life was going.
When people are more willing to teach, then people are more willing to learn.
Everybody got a phone in here.
You always hear about somebody getting shot and all of that. It's uplifting to see someone else out there and another voice and a positive and redirecting the kids' youth. We
use this technique to be able to not only inspire them in their creative journey, but just kind of readjust their mindset. There's no such thing as a wrong reel.
Tonight's lesson was about making an Instagram reel.
And shooting reels is like a dance.
The kind that people pay professionals to make.
Pull away. See the dance?
But the bigger lesson was about the difference you can make in the lives of young people if you do two things. First, give them something that they're truly interested in.
There was a lot of youngins that were interested in photography and videography. I say, why not grab them in with things that they're interested in? Movement is about commitment, and at the same time, provide opportunity to drop some seeds and some information that could potentially save their lives too.
And second, show them that you're doing this because you truly care about them.
I help them understand. I say, hey, I'm here for you. I actually care, and I'm gonna listen. What's up?
And if enough of us do that, then they believe that together, we really can save our streets.
We don't have to fix everything. We just do what we can. You understand? To the best of our ability.
Now, sometimes people are so fearful that they decide their best defense is to also own a gun. Next, a community that's making sure you understand the responsibilities and consequences when you decide to legally purchase and use a firearm.
When crime rate went up, a lot of people ran and bought guns. And I am for responsible gun ownership, but you need to know what to do with that.
It's an unfortunate and all too common situation these days that people who are afraid and looking for protection feel the need to turn to guns.
But some are also finding that the purchase doesn't necessarily lead to the appropriate knowledge or training.
A lot of people who literally bought guns, they have them in their boxes in their homes, they never opened them, they never used them, they never went to the range.
And because of that, a community leader in Northeast Philadelphia who says he's tired of his neighbors being easy targets partnered with a firearms expert to try to help.
You have somebody who is looking for the weakest person. I don't want those people to be the weakest people.
Roman Zukov started Northeast Philadelphia Connected because, like so many others, he saw his neighbors' frustration and fear over the violence in the city.
I have a child, and it's selfish to say, but I want him to grow up in a better environment. I want him to be okay to walk himself to the school. I want him to be okay to feel safe on the playground.
His neighborhood, like many others, has seen a rise in carjackings, and that led him to seek out a certified concealed carry instructor to offer training and education about gun ownership and do it for free. Now, contrary to what some may assume gun training would include, especially with the violence we see every day, the first class they teach is about having a plan not to confront, but to avoid conflicts.
I won 100% of fights I wasn't involved in. Never lost them. So we're going to talk about situational awareness, how not to put yourself in a situation where you will be carjacked.
The second class explores both the legal and emotional aspects of having and potentially shooting a gun at someone, even in self-defense, and the effect that that can have.
There are emotional issues that come, and you're not going to be the same if you decide to use that firearm. So we want to cover that, and we want people to make educated decisions if they decide to use a firearm.
Class 3 is basic gun safety, taught using simulators and role-playing.
What's the plan? What's the plan? Some of the people saying, well, when a bad guy gets into my house, I'll point my gun at him, he'll run scared. Okay, I like that idea. What if he doesn't?
And finally, Class 4 will allow people to handle actual guns.
You got to be mentally prepared to use the gun. Since everyone already have at least one gun in the household, you have to know the rules.
Now, they aren't encouraging anyone to buy guns or peddling fear of them. They simply want their neighbors to understand that no matter how afraid you are or how you view the violence in our neighborhoods, you need to make sure you're prepared for the responsibility that comes with owning a gun.
If you don't know how to use a gun, don't have it, because you're gonna do more harm to you. Even if you're gonna think that you are right to use it, prosecutor may think otherwise.
Now, one of our ongoing commitments is to make sure we're hearing from you and your thoughts and concerns about multiple things impacting our communities. Photojournalist Starling Underwood continues to head out and ask to hear your voice.
I find myself in Hunting Park today, speaking with a gentleman named Michael Campbell.
What can you do personally to make the experience better?
Be a father. Be not just a father for my children, but for other children. That's the solution. It starts in the household with the father, right? Whether it's your child or not your child, you're an example. So it's young boys around here who don't have any fathers.
Right.
There's young children that don't have fathers. That's the reality. So who are they looking to as their father or father figures?
Right.
So as a man, I have to understand my obligation as a father figure, just being a man, and I am a father.
Right.
So that's my responsibility.
Now, by now, hopefully you understand that this Save Our Streets initiative isn't going anywhere. We're going to continue to tackle tough issues, ask difficult questions, and reach out to you to help us do that. So if you have any potential solutions or people that we need to be talking to, please just reach out. I'm Bill Anderson, and on behalf of everyone who came together to work on this special, thanks so much for watching, and have a good one.